Before we leave, we're gonna share some of our takeaways, and I'll start first. After attending the Policy Summit, I'm thoroughly convinced that youth involvement is critical when creating policies that impact them. The Children's Partnership and the National Black Women's Justice Initiative presentation exemplified that. By entrusting youth in data collection and facilitating the listening session, the events were youth-led and youth-driven. This approach enabled the participating youth to share their opinions and experience openly. Their responses struck a chord with me and my fellow peers, and even though I wasn't present in the listening session, I felt that my voice was represented in the data. I was thrilled to see how the youth were invited to present their views at the Policy Summit. This step demonstrates a strong commitment to ensuring that the voices of the young people were not only heard, but also amplified. Overall, my biggest takeaway from the Policy Summit is that youth involvement is critical in shaping the policies that impact them. And it is vital to continue prioritizing their perspective and experience in policy decision. As we move forward, let us continue to prioritize their perspective and experience in the policymaking decision to ensure that we create a better future for all of us. Let us work together to empower the voices of the next generation. In doing so, we'll create a brighter and a more inclusive for the world. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It was an immense pleasure to hear from North Carolina Integrated for Kids, the Children Partnership, National Black Women's Justice Institute of California, the Utah Department of Juvenile Justice and Youth Services, Milwaukee County Wraparound and Youth Move of Pennsylvania, along with the marvelous speakers. These organizations are focusing on several initiatives, but they all are similar in so many ways. They are all uniquely positioned to change the outcomes of young people in their respective communities. It gives me hope that change is not far, but we must be willing to fight the good fight and go to war if need be. I hope this summit shines a light on the impact young people have and how crucial it is to bring us to the table to discuss the policies that will either help or harm us. Too often, we are told to shut up and not voice our reasonable concerns because they don't want to hear us. This policy summit is breaking the stigmas by bringing young people from across the world to ask the questions that no one thought we were capable of thinking about. This was a unique space to be in. I hope to come back and serve in some capacity next year. And I am beyond impressed, proud, and overwhelmed with excitement about how this summit turned out. I would like to thank those who are behind the camera, who worked so tirelessly to make sure this was the absolute best thing ever. Young people are powerful and should not be understated. In my closing, there's a quote that resonates with me that I would like to share with you all. It is in your hands to create it is in your hands to create a world better for all who live in it. Nelson Mandela. Again, thank you all once again. And it was so amazing to serve on this panel with so many amazing young people.
I don't know how to top that. So I think it's pretty clear that across the nation, youth that aren't served in terms of integrating their voice in policy-making decisions because they don't even have the chance to sit at the table in the first place. And I think one of the things I realized throughout listening to this policy decisions and these organizations that one of the main reasons why is there was a mental barrier that we've been conditioned to in terms of youth don't know any better or don't have the qualifications until the magic number of 18. And listening to these wonderful presenters and speakers who are pushing for youth to be at the table is let's question why it's like that and discuss the strength of the support systems for youth to successfully transition to adulthood. And especially with Pennsylvania support system program, there's youth for there's room for youth to grow and learn from each other across different identities, and for youth themselves to design their own program for their own support systems. I hope that next year and the following years, there will be more programs and more change for youth voices to be validated, respected, and push the conversation forward for our world to be a better place.
I can hop in here. Honestly, just want to start off by saying, like, wow, how amazing this opportunity was, how much we accomplished, how much we talked about, how trend setting and trailblazing this entire conference was. I really want to thank the Department of Health and Human Services and CLASP for this wonderful opportunity. Kind of just starting out with like personal experience, you know, as someone who did struggle with suicide and depression and other mental health challenges, this is the type of support and advocacy and allyship that I needed. And this is the type of support and allyship that saves lives. And it is just so heartening to see so many amazing people, so many amazing organizations come together to support youth on this level. I am honestly just blown away that we've made so much progress, and to be here in this space and in the virtual space with everyone is just a complete honor. We were asked to kind of come up with 5 takeaways for today, and there was so much I wanted to talk about, but I decided to think about the roles and different positions that youth serve in and that youth are capable of that we kind of unearthed throughout this summit. So I'll start off with my first one. It's that youth are the ones who can benefit the most from integrative care models, and we expect it from our care. And just echoing my opening remarks, right? We cannot continue to provide services and systems in silos. The stakes are quite simply too high. This is especially true given that 1 in 5 children, either currently or at some point during their life, have had a seriously debilitating mental illness. And the average delay between the onset of a mental health condition or illness and treatment is 11 years. 11 years. Imagine how different our world would be if we were able to catch this early. If we were able to catch this when a person goes to their primary care setting and they're asked about their suicidality. It would just be literally amazing. And we have all of the tools to kind of fill the glue, to kind of put glue into all the cracks that's there. And I think if anything that we've learned today, it's that integrative care really does save lives, and it really does build and streamline this continuum of care that we all want. I just want to kind of speak a little bit about some of the work that I did on a crisis line where these young people were coming to me, and we were one of the first kind of points of intervention or these interceptors in their like help seeking behavior. And we were able to refer them to other resources, but to have more built-in integration and streamlined processes, which just helps these young people get what they need and get what they need it fast. My next one is that youth are consultants and professionals. It's 2023, and honestly, we don't need, but we demand opportunities at the table. And I think it's kind of a disgrace that we are still having this conversation of, well, how do we bring youth in? Is that even realistic? Is that even possible? It is, and we've seen at this conference that we can do it. I think youth are far from a place of being apologetic for asking for this opportunity. We are unapologetic and we deserve a seat at this table. We really are equal partners and consultants and stewards of our own lived experience. And we really need you to listen. We will continue to talk whether or not you listen, but it's a lot easier when you listen. Adding on to that, it's just really just ask us and make these spaces for us to talk and to be present with you and to help share these decisions. My third point is that youth are capacity builders. We know how to offer support, and peer-to-peer models can support our mental health workforce and system. We also know how to build programs that work for us and are effective and relevant and real. And this was especially true when we were talking about continued youth involvement. Ask youth what makes youth stay involved in these programs. I think that's one of the first solutions. We really know how to streamline and innovate these processes that might feel like you're at a roadblock or that you're caught up in red tape. bring us in and we can help problem solve that with you. My fourth point is that youth are, of course, storytellers and stewards of their own lived experience. And we really want to share our experiences and the systems and models that affect us. And we want to talk about what we are, who we are, what we do, and what we want from our world and from our society. And just to echo it again, I know some people are like, do youth really want to be involved in this work? It's budget work, it's legislative work, it's blah, 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 blah. We do want to be involved. We want every chance to be involved. And we want to see our stories heard. And then we want to see that listening being turned into action and change and real tangible things that we can like grab our hands on. And my fifth point is that just kind of based on this amazing panel of young people and all the young people that we heard from yesterday, it's that youth are really the power that runs this country. And we need to invest in youth. We need to protect youth. We need to embed and center them in all of our systems and models and care and in everything that we do, because it is your responsibility to make sure that we are set up to build a better world. Thank you.
Wow, y'all could have warned you, girl, but all right then. Hello, friends. As I bid you adieu for today's conference, why were we here yesterday and today? What were we talking about? I want to leave you with some of my own final moments. We are the ones that will be most affected by the policy from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It's imperative to involve us in decision-making. Involving youth in policymaking ensures that our diverse needs are constantly being met. Our unique perspectives and fresh ideas can lead to innovative solutions and more comprehensive approaches to policy development. By engaging young people in policymaking, it helps to increase our sense of civic responsibility as well as promote a more engaged and informed society. As was said yesterday, anyone can be a champion. It's not a 9 to 5. You can champion in every space that you are a part of. Create space for young people. If you're in a space where there is not a seat for us, build one. Bring a chair or we will bring our own. I promise you that. And let's be honest, us as young people, we're a lot colder than all the older folks. We have a little bit more youthful energy, and who can disagree that we don't all really need that. Young people are the experts. It's our job to support and encourage the growth of lived expertise that drive experience. Therefore, it's imperative to provide and prioritize the inclusion of young people in policymaking and implementation to create the policies that are more comprehensive, equitable, and effective for all of our members of society. So let's not underestimate the power of our next generation, and let's make sure they have a voice in shaping the policies that will ultimately impact their lives. Because if we don't, we just might take matters into our own hands, and who knows what that could bring. I would like to leave you with one final quote. A child not embraced by its village burns it down. So let's embrace our children. And that's all, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for the Youth in Transition Policy Summit. We hope that you have taken away some really valuable messages, and give a round of applause for these incredible young people. Wow.